defensive line, do you go young guy, draft prospect, or do you think that's an area where they would benefit more from adding a veteran? And really, all around, what areas, what positions do you think need to be addressed in the draft, and what positions need to be addressed in free agency?
Yeah, no, and looking at priorities, I think clearly the draft looks deep in terms of edge rushers, especially at the top. I think that a lot of the edge rushers that left the Senior Bowl kind of left an indelible mark, had good practices, and then decided to leave. I like what you could get at number 28. I think that you could get potentially a Mike Green or a Stewart that kind of stood out as well. Even maybe when you look at Josiah Stewart, I think that Vito did a great scouting report at
Yeah.
Lions on SI, somebody that maybe you can get in later, maybe in the second round at number 60. So I think that in that first two picks, I do think that potentially it's strong that the Lions are going to go offensive line, defensive line, or reverse, or maybe even twice along the offensive line. But to me, I think the priority should be defensive line in the draft. And then maybe you can supplement the offensive line in free agency if you find somebody that's, in their mid 20s that's looking for maybe on the last year of their deal that you can potentially move up, or somebody that's already on the roster in regards to, maybe Manu gets a little bit more of a step. You hope that Colby Sorsdal takes some of the, takes a slight to being on the inactive list for a large chunk of the year. You hope to kind of get some development from some of the guys that you drafted that are in the roster. You still have Kingsley Egakwin as well. That's on the roster that many people respect as well. Muti, I think, as well, is a player that people are looking at as well. That could also be a contributor or continue to develop. So there's still some options, but in my opinion, I think you go in the draft and you find defensive linemen and you are able to continue to build. And I think the offensive line is pretty much stable, but you can tinker and maybe add a player or two in free agency.